Hey guys, my name is Anastasia and welcome to the AB Real Estate team. And today we're going to talk about how to increase your credit score fast. But before we get into that, let's first discuss as to what factors play an impact on your credit score. So here in Canada, your score ranges all the way from 300 up to 900. And thanks to Credit Karma, we can actually see what factors do impact your credit. It breaks down to credit card utilization, payment history, derogatory marks, age of credit history, total accounts, and credit inquiries. Let's take a moment to discuss how they actually calculate all the categories. So credit card utilization, how they do it is by taking your total card balances and dividing it by your total credit card limits. Your on-time payment percentage, so that's your payment history, they take your on-time payments and divide it by your total payments. Derogatory marks is basically any open accounts and collections plus negative public record marks. Age of credit is your average age of all open credit accounts. And your total accounts are any open accounts plus all your closed accounts. And your credit inquiries are your hard pulls. Now that you actually have an idea as to what your credit score consists of, let's get into it. I'm going to be telling you 5 ways of how to increase your credit score fast. Our very first focus is going to be credit card utilization. Usually people make a payment once a month when their statement comes in. However, one thing that you must remember is that amount has already been reported to the bureau. Let's say that you have a credit limit of $1,000 and you used $400. You get your statement and you pay it off in full. That does not necessarily mean that your score has been impacted in a positive way. 400 divided by 1,000 is 40%, meaning you're in the fair section. So how do you fix that? You actually make the payment earlier than the statement. Let's say you have $1,000, you used $400, and you have $200 extra dollars to pay it off before your statement comes in. Pay it off because once the statement comes in, your statement is $200. So 200 divided by 1,000 is 20%, meaning you move up to the good category. Another way of you increasing your credit score is actually increasing your credit limit. So let's say you used $400. However, if you increase your credit limit to $4,000, so 400 divided by 4,000 is 10%. That automatically moves you up to the next bracket. Our second focus is payment history. Please make your payments on time. If you miss at least one payment, it actually impacts your credit score in a very negative way, and it's much easier for your credit score to drop than for you to bring it back up at the end of the day. And if you have trouble remembering when to pay, or if you're leaving somewhere, just set it up on an auto pay. So this way, payments will come out automatically from your checkings into your credit card. This way, you will never need to worry about making payments on time. Another thing you can do is actually call up your bank and see if maybe they can take it off. If it's just one payment, they do cooperate, and if they don't, at least you've tried. The third point we're going to focus on is your derogatory marks. As I've mentioned previously in this video, it's anything that's in collections or in the public record impacting you in a negative way. What you want to do is get information as to how much money you owe and pay it off. The one suggestion I can really give you about derogatory marks is basically, learn how to budget. Don't spend what you can't pay back at the end of the day. Just keep your credit clean. The fourth point is going to have 2 categories kind of tied into one just because they piggyback off of each other. It's your age of credit and your total account numbers. Many people have a misconception that if you have a lot of credit cards, it's bad. Think of it this way. Would the bank trust if someone had one credit card with a limit of $20,000 or someone who had 5 credit cards with a limit of $10,000? And both of them are able to keep up with the payments? The banks are going to trust someone who can manage 5 credit cards versus someone who can manage 1 credit card, right? In regards to the age of credit, obviously the longer credit history you have, the better. Here's how they piggyback off one another. Let's say you've had a credit card for 2 years and you're thinking of opening one more. Sometimes that doesn't really impact you in a positive way. Here's why. 2 years plus 0 years divided by 2 credit cards, that brings you back to 1 year of credit history because they take the average years of how long you've owned, the credit for. So there isn't really a positive impact of you opening up a second credit card account. If you haven't started your credit history yet, I suggest maybe opening up 2 cards at the same time with low credit availability and then working your way up, of course. My very last suggestion, you don't have to make any payments. All you really need to do is pull your credit report and go through it. Reason being is mistakes can happen, especially if you have siblings with similar names. Something may have been reported on your report when it shouldn't have, and that can impact it in a negative way. So take your time to review it, and if something you catch isn't yours, let them know right away. If you thought that this video was helpful in any way, remember to hit the like button, subscribe, and I hope you guys stay safe and healthy.